Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Developing the Leader Within podcast. I'm Enrique, and today I'm with Paula Goodman. I've been waiting for a little while, I would say just a little while, to have this interview with her because I just love how she focuses on the customer service side, which is so important and integral in maintaining good order, discipline, and future for businesses. So if you're not connected to Paula and looking at her customer service stuff, you need to. But before we get into all of the leadership and customer service conversation, Paula, first of all, thank you for being with me today and sharing your insights on customer service. I want to give you a little time to just talk to us about you and what you've done so far, and then we'll get into the conversation.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I remember when I got this invitation a long time ago, I'm like, oh, I don't even know where I'm going to be in a year, but it's great to be here. I was looking forward to it too. And it's like customer service is something like really, oh my gosh, I can talk about that without even scripting myself or anything. I prefer to talk freely than I do looking at notes and books and all that stuff. But thank you. Thank you for having me. Most of what I've done has always been to serve others. I think I've just been around that. And I think maybe it was my upbringing. It was always more important to put other people first. And people was, like that's where everything is. It's knowing your people, knowing the people around you. We learn service from a very early age without even knowing it, because where you're born into, the community, the family, everything you do, you're interacting. If you belong to a faith and you go to the church, your interaction, and you learn right away from responses of others what your actions are going to do. And a lot of people are aware of that and some aren't. So I think it's just a matter of how you feel about things and being aware of that too. So the best service is knowing how you feel about that, and then putting that into action when you're thinking about others. So yeah, like everything I've done has been around, like, how can I help? I've always wanted to be a helper, do a good job, do the best I can. I'm going to go to heaven. But yeah, it just molded me there.
Yeah, true customer service is birthed from a spirit of giving. It is truly where it comes all out of. If you can't give, customer service is going to be a tough spot to be in because it just goes against the grain if you are not a person that is putting others first, and not in the sense of, because I'm always cautious when I tell people, hey, you got to learn how to put others first. It is not thinking of yourself less. It's just thinking about them a little more. Right.
I mean, like we're in a world where, self-love is first, because if you don't love yourself, you're not able to love anybody else, period. If you are not 100% okay with you, you're not 100% okay with others. And that comes before working. I think maybe that's like the service to yourself is necessary before you bring it to the table. A lot of people go to work, if they're not happy, it's going to resonate in their job, right? So it's service on the inside will reflect on the outside. And you have to love yourself first. But in a world where it's like, well, if you're in a service where you are helping others, if you want to do the best job possible, do the best with you as well. And it is a matter of emotional regulation, because retention starts with the giving. Who you're giving to. And if you don't have anything 100% wrapped up inside, you can't give away.
Well, I've always likened it to a person, and I don't know if you've ever tried this. Most people don't. Trying to drink from an empty cup. Have you ever tried that?
or overflowing. You're just going to make a mess, right?
Right. So it has.
You can say yes or no.
Right.
And do it gracefully and accept things, right? And for me, I mean, like I've had a whole bunch of stuff happening in my real life that, you go to work and it's like baggage. I'm emotionally stressed out. And how do I do that? But sometimes it's just knowing, being aware of it. It's like, I'm taking care of business here. and then I'm going to take care of business here. How do I make it work? Because a lot of times we're in this conflicting world where, like, leave your personal life at home. Don't bring it into the office. But yet the most important connection is a human connection. And it's just a matter of regulating that. It's like, you know what? This is what's happening. Can I deal with it? Because if you can't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be able to handle it, you're going to break down on somebody else, you need some help. Get the help. You need some service, right? Before you bring it to work. And when you're better, you're better.
Right. Yeah. And I've seen that play out so many times, even in my own life, where you try to be the best, but and I love how you say an overflowing cup, because overflowing cups can be messy, right? And depending on what's inside of you. Now, if it's all overflowing love, hey, I guess that's all right. But if it's all overflowing mess,
yeah, that's right. Depending on what you're filling it up with, right?
right. So it begs to take note of what you're filling yourself up for. If you're a leader and you're listening to this, watch what you're filling yourself up with, because it could be a mess. So
that's the thing. If you are in a position of leadership, you have to lead yourself first, and then you have to lead with the heart, and that heart is the leader, because your thinking is not good to believe. Thoughts aren't real. What you're thinking, ifs, ands, or buts, or judgments, they're not real. What you believe is real, and then your brain is just computing. It's just going to do what your thoughts are telling it to do. If you have good thoughts sent from the heart, bam, right? So lead yourself first before you try to lead anybody else. And a leader does set an example, right? And they care about everybody else, and they want to make sure everybody else is happy. Happy people are productive people.
So, and as we talk in customer service here now, we've dabbled a little on the leadership side, and it's easy to, because there's just so much to be learned about leadership. But before we started, I had told you that leaders have such an integral part in customer service, because likened to your comment about the cup, what you bring to the workplace can be contagious, right? And sometimes it's not always good. So in customer service, so let's talk about customer service as a whole. What is customer service? Because some people may not even know what it is. They're trying to do something, they don't even know what it is. But so what is customer service? And then we'll talk about how it relates to leadership.
Here, customer service is helping, basically. It's like, how can I help you? Right? It's a chance to meet somebody else who's in a place of business who needs some help. They're a human who needs some help, and you're a human there to give it to them. It's an interaction. It's a connection. It's a chance to meet someone and help them the best way you can. Right? So if you make it for me, it's like, even I had a hard time dealing with the word customer all the time. Customer, but they're a person. They're people. It's people service. I'm a person. I'm not dealing with a customer. I'm dealing with a human first. People don't, I don't refer to myself as, hey, I'm a customer. I'm a person, and I want to see a person. If I like you, I want to deal with you, right? I don't want to deal. Oh, do I call you worker? Hi, worker.
Employee.
Right. And there's that whole sense of decorum and that whole business attitude. But to me, that just puts yourself up on, expectations. I don't like the word expectations. People, but they do have them, right? And when you're dealing in business, make it your business to know what a human is. That's my motto. And if I don't know you, how can I help you? My service means I have to focus on you, do right by you. If I'm not here to help you, what am I here for? A paycheck? Yeah, we all need a paycheck. But, when joy is the wage, when you get that joy and that sense of accomplishment and how you've done something good, and somebody actually says, thank you for your help, and comes back to you, nothing beats that. You get that happy feeling, right? And your service gets better.
I'd be interested in hey, the first company, there's anybody listening right now, I could change this. This would be great. So let's change customer service to people service. and leave it there, because
Okay.
you know
Right on.
it's a thing, you know, it's true, because you try to deal with and basically help somebody that you've already labeled a person paying for a service, right? And
Right.
so you already have a disconnect.
Yeah.
And in the
And
people
not only
business,
that, like
yeah,
they haven't even paid yet. Their potential, if you want to just strictly like take the business and put that put your use to business, retention starts with the giving. Give your attention. It starts, you know, and depending, I've done both because I've had to coach in person and I've had to do auditory where I was listening in on phone calls and monitoring those, right? So those would be assessed, and it's a lot different because it's actually, I think it's more of a struggle when it is just auditory and not visual, right? But in the visual, you have both. We used to have the handshake. COVID has been a big threat to that, right? So a lot has been dependent on, you know, just the eyes. This is all we see now, right? It's all in your eyes. Look at them. Use their name. It's the language, the body language. What are you showing them? A lot of it is on film now, right? What are you presenting? They say, like, if you're looking for a job, you have 3 seconds before they see your resume or whatever. 3 seconds to pop. It applies in real life too on service. Wow. What's the first thing that attracts you to another human being? The smile. And we can't even see that, but you can see it in the eyes. But if you're walking somewhere, I mean, in a distance, or you maybe we should wear badges with a smile of ourselves, right? There's ways to do it.
or just get an
If
imprint
you
of
feel
your
welcome,
face.
yeah, right. The smiling masks, wear them. The company should be throwing those at their employees, right? Not only that, service by the company to their employee
Right.
is imperative here, and that's the leadership part of it too, right? Because it filters.
So let's talk about, you mentioned the service internal. So let's talk about the difference between internal customer service, external customer service. I think one is more important than the other, if you ask me. And so I'm gonna let you handle that, and then we'll talk
No, it
about it.
is. Because if you're starting a company, what are you dealing with? People.
Mhm.
That if you want to make money, where are you going to get that money? From people. People who work hard for their money. People who want to deal for the money. Like, there are all sorts of people. You know that. And so how do you get your people? You know, your people come first. If you're going to bypass your people and go straight to the customer and be greedy, this ain't going to happen. You know? Be greedy in servicing your own people, because happy people are productive people. Help them. You help yourself with your own wealth within your own company. You're investing in all these people that you're hiring to help you. Why not pay attention to them first? You know, provide the wellness that's there, provide the necessary means for benefits or anything that they need. A lot of companies will hire on contract. Why? Because everybody wants free service. And some of it you have to pay for, right? Some of it, because I'd rather pay for a service that's better and treats me like a human being,
Right.
than somebody's going to treat me like a paycheck. So if you actually add value, because it all comes down to that sense of value, if you are telling your people or anybody that you come across how they contribute and give them credit for being there, for showing up, for adding those skills that they brought to the table, and whatever you want, what can I do to help you better? Help me help you. Give them the attention that they need. It doesn't cost a thing. And it's the wisest investment. You're going to lose people. You're going to have people walking in and out the door. You're going to have them. And not only if one person is unhappy in an office of 10, guess what? It's going to be heard and felt by all 10 people. And then if they're dealing with other people, it spreads through the office like you wouldn't believe. It could be toxic. And it all starts with the person who's supposed to be in charge, who's supposed to be observing. A leader's not supposed to sit back and like, ha ha ha, I'm a leader, I'm a boss. They're not supposed to shoot out orders. Carry them out. It's the placement in those orders. How are you telling people, you know, this is what we have to do. This is a goal. How do we make it common? Include it as a team. A leader's not alone. They're just another member of the team.
In your perspective, who is responsible for the uh, internal customer service?
The people in charge, the people who hire you, the people who are supposed to be coaching you along the way, right? If we trust the people, if I hire somebody who I think is good for the job, there's a reason I hired them. Right. And it had to deal with that one-on-one meeting, or that's why we have interviews and think about it. We ask the questions. We have those opportunities to figure out what we like about somebody. Gosh, we even have probation period to say, you know what, didn't work out, right? Am I going to get your best behavior for 3 months and then bang, you're awful, right? But it's how you interact, and in the moments when you're hiring people, you have to trust that you've hired them for a reason, and you don't need that micromanagement. You just need that micro engagement, right? A little check-in, a little trust. Get to know them. You can't just go right into a job and like bang, bang, bang. Okay, show me, right? It's a cutthroat world. If you take the time to learn about each other, you're going to find out, well, you know what? This person had another skill I didn't even see coming, right? And it's you're always adjusting because everybody has something on the table to offer. And when they're encouraged, you're going to find something else. But the best thing about being a leader is helping somebody else figure out on their own that you planted the seed there and encouraged it. And then they're like, wow. And then they have this self-esteem, and then they're happy about things and they're throwing it out there, and you're getting so much back in return. But it feels so great to see that happen, to see somebody else blossom. You're just the person who just like, okay, we have a car here and you're the driver now, but you're not ready to drive. I have to teach you how to drive. Tell them about the car, tell them about how to take care of the car, give them the things that they need for the car, give them references, resources, give them everything they need, and then let them drive. You'll always be in the back of their mind, because no matter where they go, they're independent and they're going to be future leaders too, right? And you're still back there. But 20 years from now, they're going to be like, God, I remember when they helped me. The good ones stick out. And you don't need to be put on a pedestal. Right. You don't. We're too busy making an example. Being on a pedestal is too much pressure, because then you're just like, okay, people want to hear everything. I'd rather just go to work and do what I have to do. Right? Let me help you. How can I help you?
At the leadership level, and it's interesting you said the leadership. Most people, they hire out their inadequacies, and this is what I mean, right? So a CEO that's not an enforcer, they'll hire a COO that's an enforcer, right? And it's funny, even in the military, a captain, and the way that things supposed to work out, the captain's supposed to be the nice one. The executive officer is the one that runs around whooping people, right? Right. And that relationship is there with a purpose. The senior enlisted keeps everybody on ground, right? It keeps everybody at bay, and tries to foster and manage that triad type of leadership, basically methodology, right? It's a 3-pronged methodology at leadership. But leaders often will get somebody, oh, you're a customer service expert, come over here, train the team. But they lack every customer service skill that you can imagine. And they don't understand that it has to start with them. They must emulate what they're looking for. And if you don't know, then that person you just hired, tell them to teach you in the background.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's so many people that were better than me, but they could teach me in return. I'm also like, if I'm there to learn as well. And of course, like, I may be good at this, but I'm not good at everything. I have to be vulnerable. And like, what is the point? What are we here for? What are we here for? And then keep that mission, that vision of what you're doing. What are we doing? Are we making this a better place? Sure, it's great. Make sure, there's training involved. There's lots of mundane stuff that you do. How do you pep it up? There's a lot of things you can do in an office to brighten the day. We have to, like, take it out of the office, maybe get to know each other, because the more you know people around you, you're apt to make them happy as well. Or maybe your empathy is there, right? Because in customer service, if you don't have empathy, you don't have it. Right?
Look,
that's one of the hardest things
I
to
have
bring to
called
the.
I have called a many 1-800 numbers, and yeah, what do you want? What do I
Right?
want?
You notice when there's lack of service, right? You notice that, and it's true. It's like, yeah, when you got a pen? What? No, I don't. Sorry, I don't even have a phone anymore. Bye.
And it's just so, in a service oriented position as customer service, and now we're dubbing it. Hey, I'm changing the name, people service. I officially changing customer service to people service, and that's it. But
it's all customer connection, but it's people connection. And the sooner you make that, and you have that within the first interaction, you can notice something they're wearing. You can notice something that they're talking about. If they have somebody else with them, right? Did they pull up in a car? Is it raining out? The best thing if you have nothing is the weather. It's just bring it to the weather, and that you can also be aware of how they're feeling, right? Because sometimes people are shy, they don't know how to connect with you, and then it's your job to make them feel comfortable. When somebody comes to your home and they don't feel welcome, they're not coming back. When when you're invitational, when you're actually servicing them, it's like, can I get you something to drink? Use their name, or it's good to see you. We do it in social media all the time. People aren't going to go back unless they feel welcome. In order to get attention, you have to show them something, and that doesn't cost anything. But if you want them to come back, that's what you have to do. A lot of service is free. Free service is free, right? The products cost money, but the service is free. And it like, people kind of balance that. People, if you want them to come back, you're giving them something free. People want the freebies, right? Here's a bracelet with the purchase, but you're going to remember me more than I'm going to remember that bracelet, whatever, because I'm going to give you the best service. You're going to come back.
I had just spoken to a young lady about her future and how to go about it. And she said, thank you for the free mentorship. I said, you're welcome, but it wasn't free. It's an investment. Now go make it work.
It's a free investment, though. It costs you a thing.
It
right?
doesn't. But a lot of people don't see that free is not totally. I'm taking some of me. I'm investing in you because I know you can go from here to there. So, but in customer service, and this is something I wanted you to address. So, in customer service, what is it that we're missing that is still challenging for people to do it? I know one, you have to have the kind of like the heart for it. If you don't have heart for people, it's not going to work. But what are some things that we're doing wrong in customer service that you see we need to change, and we need to change that now?
Ownership. Just self-assess and self-improvement. Are you doing the best that you can do? Are you giving it all? Is this satisfying to you? Do you know the products? Are you educating yourself? Because a lot of the times too, like we're trying to come up with, okay, so they came on, you have a bunch of products.
Right.
If you don't know the products, how can you best match the customer?
Right.
And then if you're not asking the right questions, it's know your customer, and then you can know your product and make the best match possible. Sometimes it may not even be a match, right? but you've also made a friendship. I've made friends outside of people service, right? But what is lacking? Resources, encouragement, leadership that makes a difference. The value. If you don't have a sense of value, you're not going to be able to give it. So I think it's all comes down to having that sense of value, and that starts in the workplace that you are. It starts at home first, to bring yourself to get a job where you have that value. And if you don't have it, it's a toxic environment if that happens, because I've been there too.
Right.
You have to do right by people. You have to do right by yourself. And if something isn't working out for you, maybe you don't have the empathy, step back and find out where it is. Maybe you're just a statistic person that needs to be in somewhere else. Find out your own strengths. Do those self-assessments. Put you where you match. Right? And the leader can help you with that. Maybe have that talk.
Amazing. So, Paula, I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you and continue that, or maybe have you come and talk to their company about customer service, getting them right, how could they do that?
Probably the best place to locate me is through LinkedIn. I have a lot of DMs and messages and stuff like that. I do try to graze through it really quickly, and I usually see the top 15. But sometimes if I'm a day off, like, because we do have to take time off to regenerate,
right.
I'm like catching up. But the best way to find me would be the last post, because I do pay attention to, because that's my work, my service, and I pay attention to that as the priority before I go anywhere else. Because I'm not going to go shopping when here I am, this is for you, and then I'm leaving. That's bad service.
Right.
It's like throwing a baseball and like forgetting about the mitt, like dropping and run,
Yeah. Well, folks, if you're interested,
it's open too, so anybody could send a DM anyway.
Right.
I'm there, but I'm on social media everywhere. They're all open networks: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Oh my God, everywhere that I can think of.
All right, folks. Well, hey, if you want Paula, if you want Paula to come and talk to your company, or you want to have a chat with her, hey, get her on LinkedIn. Send a personalized connection request, please. And that's one of the customer service things that I just like to do. And so I hope that everybody that connects with you does the same. Folks, we've been talking about leadership, customer service, the goods, the bads, and the ugly. There's so much to talk about. We can't, capture in one episode. But Paula, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your morning and speaking to us about the topic.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Just
a delight. All right, folks. You know how we like to end this show. Success to you.